Hey, what's up everyone? I'm JayDreamerZ. Welcome to today's show. Tonight we're going to talk about the animals that have been moving around in circles for quite some time. The internet's been buzzing about these animals. A lot of people have requested that I talk about the animals, and I do have a theory, as usual. What I'd like to do actually is, because I've heard so many different theories and I've seen that people have so many different perspectives, I'd like to ask the chat to share yours. And I'm going to put your comments up on the screen so that way we can just sort of put our minds together to see what we come up with. And at the end of the broadcast, I will share my theory. I'll tell you what my idea is. So it's going to be a laid back presentation tonight. Not a lot of, putting a lot of different things on the screen and stuff like that, like I do often. And hey, thanks for all the good vibes and comments and stuff on my Indiana Jones video. Man, that was a good one, right? That was so much fun. So I decided to take the Indiana Jones video, my Truth in Movies, and I was experimenting. I wanted to chop it up and get right to the good parts, the juicy stuff, which was about 15 minutes. I was trying to make it shorter than that, but there was so much stuff in there. So yeah, thanks for letting me know that you enjoyed that. If it's popular, people like it, then there's a good chance I'll keep doing that. That way I can have like a short version for everyone that doesn't have the time to watch. Oftentimes Truth in Movies last longer than the movie itself. And some people say they like that too. Some people say they like watching Truth in Movies more than the movie itself sometimes. All right, cool. So I see everybody in the chat. Jayma Barker's going to kick things off. She says that there's a magnetic shift coming perhaps. Yes, exactly. I've heard that a few times. That's right up my alley, I'd say. How do you suppose that the magnetic shift would affect animals or insects or whatever they are that are moving around in circles, right? What is it about the electromagnetic field that would cause them to walk around in circles in such a way? That would be my question. It's easy for us to just say it's electromagnetic spectrum or whatever, right? And I totally agree, but let's brainstorm. How could that happen? Rage Against the Machine also says electromagnetic field breakdown. I think it's interesting to see so many people are already on like similar wavelengths. Michael Takar says, I feel they are flowing with the Earth's energy to help balance her. I like your Felix the Cat icon too. That's cool. Let's see. And also, it's going to help me out in the chat if you type in JAY to get my attention, or at JayDreamerZ, because it highlights your comment on my side. That way I don't miss anybody. Nomenclature Kuharik says, those ants lose the scent of the colony and do a death spiral until they're all dead. I've heard ranchers saying that the sheep do the circle when they aren't given enough space to roam and they walk about in the circle. That makes perfect sense to me. You know what I mean? If you're in an enclosed spot, you need to walk around, just walking in circles seems natural. The ant death spiral thing, I've heard of that. So my question would be like, does anyone have a little ant death spiral graveyard? Like, has anyone seen the ants actually die in a spiral and just kind of give up on the way? I've seen them spiraling and moving. But if it's like a death spiral and they die, then, I would be interested in seeing actual leftovers of just ants laying there. Let's see. Oh, David John Miller says all these volcanoes are blowing off. Totally agree. There's lots of volcanoes. And I think you're going to see a lot more volcanoes going off as we get closer to the end or the beginning. Let's see here. What else we got? All right, cool. Some people are highlighting now. Thank you. Jayma Barker says, JayDreamerZ, type it in exactly like this. Yes. Okay, so you could totally type that in, or you could just type in JAY just like that. It also highlights on my side. We got Mojo Shop who says, Jay, perhaps they're lost in direction to magnetic north. This is really interesting. Let's think about some things. I'm going to chime in whenever it reminds me of something. It reminds me of all of the world's animals, 2 by 2, allegedly, going back to the ark, right? They know something's coming in the Bible. So the biblical story of Noah has all the animals naturally and instinctually heading to a place of safety right before a huge worldwide apocalyptic event. Let's see. In prison, people walk around in circles. Yes, they do. Good call. Good call. Let's see. We got Brandon says to give me a like. Thank you. Appreciate it. I used to get upset when people were like the video, you know, like not upset, but I felt bad. I don't like telling people what to do. And I always felt like people used the likes only when they really liked it. But now I start to understand likes are more like voting for your channel to become more popular, which I super appreciate. Thank you. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you. Stan Rutherford says, Jay, could it have something to do with frequency? I would think so, right? I do know 5G is turning on in more places now. As reference, where I live, 5G was not available, and now it is. So my question would be, if it's 5G, right? Like how far does 5G extend? Because when I worked at T-Mobile, they basically taught us 5G doesn't get far at all. Like it's very short waves, you know what I mean? So you'd have to be pretty close to it, I would assume. But it could be. It totally could be. I would just have to, you know, we'd have to check the measurements on like how far 5G affects stuff. Or whatever the frequencies may be, right? Humans in roundabouts, Uncle Benny. I want to call you Uncle Benny the dog. Can I say Uncle Benny the dog? I don't know if you know what that is, but it's pretty classic. Let's see, what else we got? What else? I'm looking in the chat, trying to find everything. Let's see, we got nomenclature again, says JayDreamerZ. I've seen the death spiral end result, and it was fudging huge, 5.5 feet. Oh my God, that's cool. All right, I've never seen it. Daughters of Lilith says, Jay, animals are tied to and sensitive to magnetic fields and frequency and react naturally to its changes. I totally agree. I think we all do, really. I feel like we all resonate. Zoe, thank you. Super appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. We all resonate. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if astrology, right? If the stars have an influence upon people, right? Irregular. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Irregular Absolution. If the stars can influence us and other energies of the earth as well, why not the earth in its entirety? You know what I mean? So, for example, like the sun sign is allegedly in the Western astrological deal is like the strongest sign, basically, right? What about the earth, though, itself? You know what I mean? When the earth starts to change and that frequency changes, our frequencies are going to match. Our frequencies will also change, I think. Let's see. We got Grounded Extracts. Much love to you, too. Long Road to Truth. Good to see you. Carl Henneman says, Jay, I think it's interesting that they're all running in the same direction. I think sometimes it's clockwise, sometimes it's counterclockwise. But also that reminds me of how hurricanes work, right? In the northern hemisphere, they're in one direction. Southern hemisphere, it's the other direction. Pavlov Sheep says, JayDreamerZ, maybe unseen triggered predator response or migration magnetic field anomaly. That's a very strong possibility. It's totally natural for animals and fish of different kinds and even insects to just start spiraling around to protect somebody who is in the middle of that, right? It's a natural defensive strategy. I get that. Totally is. This is crazy, says Anna. I totally agree. It's weird, right? Which is good. Good. Put some weird stuff on the news, man. I'm tired of all the same regular, boring, monotonous, mundane garbage, right? The earth is changing. I like to see those changes. I like to tune in. My favorite YouTube channels are the ones that show you all the weird stuff that's happening worldwide that they don't put on the news. Like earthquakes and tsunamis and zombies coming to life and all kinds of weird stuff. Fantazoids, all that kind of stuff. All right, back into the chat. Daughters of Lilith says, Jay, it's like Muslim people walking in circles around the Kaaba stone. I totally agree with you. It's very much like that, actually. You know what else? It's in the Bible too. Speaking of humans doing this, right? We're no exception. We're no exception whatsoever. Biblically speaking, there's some stories about how the ancient Hebrews walked around Jericho. Remember? They walked around that city nonstop, day and night, for 3 days in a row, kind of like how the sheep, right, kept on walking around it. Interesting connection. All right, back into the chat. Excuse me. Belinda. What's up, Belinda? Says, Jay, I think we need to consider the location of the sheep in northern China. Yeah, so I'm telling you personally, I take it with a grain of salt, okay? I'm not like, this definitely happened. I totally saw a YouTube video. This super happened. Oh my God. Like, to me, I'll share my thoughts with you towards the end. But yeah, some of this stuff happened way out in China, and I'm like, how does something like we don't get a lot of China news? You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear a lot about, like, you know, current events, what's going on. I mean, me personally, I don't watch the news ever, so I don't know anything about China. But I do know that not a lot of people watching my YouTube channel in China. Like, I know that. So how does a story about some sheep escape from China, right? Isn't that interesting? Oh, hold up. I'm catching up. Let's see. We got Stan Rutherford, who says it reminds me of that movie Cell. Everyone keeps recommending that one. I haven't seen it yet. Someone should remind me another time. But speaking of movies too. So this week we're going to be doing Slumberland with Aquaman. I forgot his name. Jason something Momoa. Yeah, so it's going to be fun times. We're going to be talking about dreams and stuff. Potenza Dadio says, Jay, invisible beam that we can't see, but the animals can, and they're walking around it to worship. Okay, interesting. It wouldn't be the first time people walked around a beam to worship it. Irregular Absolution, thank you again. $10, man. I super appreciate it. Goes to the gas tank. Says they uncovered a zombie virus. You just blocked your own thing. They uncovered a zombie virus according to the news. Really? Interesting. Okay. I didn't know there was a virus. I know in the movies sometimes that's how zombies are made. You already know my theory, right? Oh, and speaking of that, I was just on a tangent. I was researching the Carrington event. I might talk about that later this week because I'm super interested in it. But during the Carrington event, basically it's like, man, if there's something that would be proof for the concept of Skynet actually existing, the Carrington event is up there on the list of proofs, we could say. All right, I'm back in the chat. Linda Ray says, Jay, I don't know what's going on, but I wonder if the intense increase in my tinnitus symptoms is connected to whatever it is. Ooh, could be. I don't know. I would practice that. I'd work with that and see what happens. Experiment. Pavlov Sheep says, JayDreamerZ, wild versus domestic animals. Ooh, that's something to consider too, right? Who's all natural and who's not? Belinda Brubaker says, Jay, pigeons in the UK are twisting their necks. What does that mean? I don't know. What? They're twisting like all the way around? I know they can turn it pretty far. I mean, are they just doing that? That's interesting. I'm going to have to check that out. Cake Town says, Jay, do animals have free will? Oh, you got cut off by Alien Guru, but thank you, Alien Guru. Do animals have free will, or do they bend to the will of something? The earth, magnetics? That's a good question. Do animals have free will? Okay, I'm going to get super deep because you're asking me. Okay, so man, that's a deep one. Let me think for just a sec. Off the top, I'm going to go, yeah, totally. Animals have free will, as much as anybody else. However, I would also add to that, because it's super deep, that free will, along with everything else, according to the most ancient of stories, is an illusion. Because all of this reality and all of this experience is a dream within a dream, as they say. Doc Holiday says, Jay, do the animals in opposite hemisphere circles go in opposite directions? I have no idea. I have not researched it that in depth. Actually, I take it with a grain of salt, because for me, there's a lot of X factors that play into these various videos. I know that people have made various compilations, but some of these videos are from like different times. You know what I mean? They're not like all animals on Earth all started doing this on a Wednesday and didn't stop. You know what I mean? So I kind of take it with a grain of salt. But like I said, I'll share my thoughts towards the end. Angel Wings, good to see you, says, I love you, Jay. I'm posting to my community. Did my first live today. Hey, congratulations. Right on. I'm excited for you. It's fun. It's fun times. Don't be nervous or be nervous. It's totally fine. I'm nervous like every time. The Ghost Dance. I have no idea what that is. Doc Holiday says, Jay, maybe they are all listening to Pantera. Could be. Deleted Truth says pole shift. Pole shift, indeed. The old pole shift trick, eh? All right, I'm trying to catch up. Holy moly. There's a bunch of people watching. Thank you for watching, everybody. All right. Alien Guru, thank you super much. I appreciate it. I know I forgot to get to that earlier. You're the best. World War Z. Ooh, yeah. World War Z, right? I do love talking about zombies. Zombies and Fantazoids are very entertaining for me. I mean, I love the concept, but I also like figuring out how it's real. How it could have reality in there. You know what I mean? Ryan D enjoyed the Indiana Jones breakdown. Thank you. Thank you. There was a lot in there, right? There's a lot in those truth in movies. And man, I enjoy them so much. You have no idea. I fully recommend trying it. Like, if you're someone who's very into researching, you like studying, you're a sponge for knowledge or something, and you enjoy movies or fantasy or fiction, give it a try one day. Sit down at the computer, laptop, or whatever, watch the movie, but take notes. Take your own little notes and look things up as you watch it. You'll learn so much. Or you can just watch my channel. All right. Yao Pedro Guerrero, says JayDreamerZ, overpopulation in humans and the animals is messing with the world frequency. Speaking of world population, now I'll just chime in on that real quick. I know it's really easy for people to say like, oh, there's not as many people as they say or whatever. Okay, fine. I can't prove that there's less. I can't prove that there's more, whatever. I can tell you that the statistics have essentially been doubling every 100 years. Okay. That's a lot of people. And that's a lot of added pressure to an enclosed system. Dalton Bartholomew Carnegie says, JayDreamerZ, what do you think animals are specifically sensitive to magnetic fields and naturally know where the magnetic north is, but not human beings? I do believe that we know this. I practice sensing it. I practice feeling it. It's not something that is something that's on the forefront of our minds, but I for sure believe that if a compass, okay, I'm super stuttering. If a compass can feel it, you can definitely feel it. All right. You know what I mean? We're not trained to tune into those things. That's what it requires. Some tuning, right? Just like in Dark City. All right. Going back into the chat. Irregular Absolution. Thank you so much, bro, for all the donations. And says, Jay, it was in the permafrost, frozen for 47,000 years. What was in the permafrost? You lost me. I'm sorry. I'll try to catch up to that. The elephants, the hairy elephants, the woolly mammoths. What are you talking about? Florida Tucci says birds aren't real, as a matter of factly. Like, period. Without the period, but. Daughters of Lilith says, Jay, the Kaaba stone is black goo. It's right. The Kaaba stone is black goo, right? It's sentient alien thing that deposits are all over the planet. Okay, interesting. I like that theory that it's black goo. I want to get some more ideas about the black goo too. I've got a few different of my own. All right, we're back in the chat with Belinda Brubaker, who says, Jay, China isn't the focus. Northern is. Yeah, well, I mean, that's my focus, right? I do enjoy studying the North Pole. Let's see. If you want to get my attention, do type in JAY if you're on your phone, or you could type in @JayDreamerZ as well. Irregular Absolution, again, thank you, says maybe they can sense something, and even though they're pinned up or they are wanting to migrate to a safer place. Maybe they can send something. Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm so sorry, bro. I need it in context. Hugo Liz says, Jay, animals don't have a calcified pineal gland. They're far more sensitive to the unseen. I mean, that's a possibility. I personally have not checked all of the animals on Earth's pineal glands, but I do know where you're coming from. And I would say that animals tend to have exhibited, for me in my walk, the ability to perform the extrasensory or ESP type stuff, right? All right. Government Department of Ethics and Advanced Effery says, Jay, in all animals and people's brains, a synthesized crystalline mineral, which is Fe3O4, that when organized in long chains, readily orients in the Earth's magnetic field. That's interesting. Hey, check this out. Remember when we did the Truth in Movies? dang, I forgot the name of that movie, but it was about the world tree. It was about how in the movie, it was kind of like a horror, weird sci-fi type deal, but basically the world tree grew up out of this little flower, this little alien flower or whatever. We broke this down. I can't even remember the name of it. But there's this huge world tree that just grew up out of this random city in the United States. And all the people that were affected by this tree or plasma possessed, they all faced north. Like they couldn't face any other direction. They had to face north. Angel Wings says, JayDreamerZ, I think it's the frequencies increasing every day. The sun is getting even stronger with solar flares and lasting longer, hitting the earth more frequently. I believe that I've seen lots of changes in the sun. Tonight, I could see in the moon, right? It's not even a full moon yet, and it's ridiculously bright. It's so bright that it's casting crisp silhouettes behind me, crisp shadows on the ground behind me when I'm walking. Right? And it's really interesting because when I was researching the Carrington event, one of the things that they said over and over was that it was so bright at nighttime that people could read by the light, which was unheard of, right? I could easily take a book outside in the moonlight and read. That's how bright it is. You know what I mean? So good point. The sun also getting brighter too. Jill, thank you. Hey, thank you, Jill. 555. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you enjoy it. All right. Let's see. We got... I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. We got, okay. Sky Bentley says, Jay, it could be ley lines or dragon lines activating. Oh, absolutely. Totally could be. The Earth's energy starting to do some stuff. Now, see how these things are swirling around and stuff? Imagine that the animals or the insects or whatever they are were not there. If it is electromagnetic in nature, then you would have a vortex in that particular spot. It would be a vortex of energy. Now imagine you have really big ones worldwide. And now imagine that they shift from time to time and that they correspond to the heavens and the stars and stuff. Now imagine that you have certain individuals that are born in those energetic vortices from time to time. Now people might have a better understanding of why you have such a strong spirit, why you can't sleep at night, why you have an overactive imagination, why you're why you're not like anybody else. You know what I mean? Why you seem to have such a strong spirit. You're probably born in one of these energetic vortices. Hughes says, Jay, I watched Troll on Netflix, right on. Titans are mountains. I love your work, and from the UK. I haven't seen that one yet. Wait, is that the new one? There's like a new one called Troll, and it looks really good, like way better than that other Troll movie that was kind of old. Government Department of Ethics says, Jay, weak, extremely low frequency magnetic fields can perturb, good word, the orientation of these chains, and if structurally coupled to nerve cells could constitute the biological basis of a magnetic field. I like it. I think that's great. And also, whenever the energy goes into flux, it tends to spiral into little circles, often to the side, right? Lisa Gallant says, Jay, black goo, self-replicating nanos and parasites. Yeah, right? Who likes black goo? Like, you know what I mean? It's weird. Like it seems like on one hand, there's black goo, which has the ability to like transform things and change things, right? And then on the other hand, you have like this milky, slimy white substance that's shown to us all of the time in the media, right? The white substance tends to energize and to improve health and add longer life and stuff. But then the black goo tends to be the opposite. Daughters of Lilith says, Jay, I'm sorry, my sentence structure is garbage. Okay, that's okay. No problem. You're good. No problem. Delphic Maxim says, Jay, these animals are expressing a change in their perception of the environment around them. Ooh, I like what you're on to, Delphic. I like that. Irregular Absolution with $10 in the gas tank. Thank you, sir. Super appreciate you. Says, with all the volcanoes erupting around the world, maybe the animals can sense something bigger coming. And they are trying to make headway to a safer place. Okay. Are they trying to dig a tunnel into the hollow earth by walking around? Right? Excuse me. One of these days, I do believe that the animals are going to know. And you're going to see ridiculous flocks of birds all heading north. or to the extreme south, possibly too. But I think that the biblical story holds some water for me personally. I believe that the animals know. Animals are in tune. In general, I'm generalizing, right? There are those of us who are in tune as well. Jill, thank you very much again, Jill. Appreciate it. I hope I didn't skip anybody. I'm trying to catch up. London. Hey, London, says JayDreamerZ. I definitely recommend you watching the movie Cell. Okay, cool. That's 2 people that have recommended. I'll have to check it out. Akiba, good to see you, Akiba. Pavlov Sheep says JayDreamerZ. Wallabies. I like doing the accents because I know that there's people really from those countries that like are probably just dying at my attempts. JayDreamerZ. Wallabies in Australia eating opium poppy crop. We're making crop circles while stoned. Really? That's super interesting, actually. The wallabies are out there. The wallabies! Damn, wallabies making crop circles. I knew it was wallabies all along. Jason Hand says even fish and orcas are circling recently. Yeah, that's really interesting too. The stuff that's especially the things that are washing ashore from the ocean, right? Not just your regular average, because now it happens. It seems to happen all the time now, right? We're so used to it. People are like, no, there's more cameras these days. There's more technology. It's not happening more and more and more. Pff, okay, until it lands on your doorstep. Then what are you going to say? Anyways, not just things washing up or getting beached like whales and dolphins and stuff like that, and sharks, but weird creatures from the deep are washing up that people don't expect to see on the surface level. Daughters of Lilith says, JayDreamerZ, sorry, I messed that up. Jay, this animal thing may be just a manufactured thing. Do I think that the animal thing is manufactured? I don't know. I don't like to give that much credit to people. So it's possible. Savage Tripper, what's good? How's it going? I like your little black hole sun deal. All right. Pamela Swan insists that the like button be smashed. I'm going to share this too. I'm usually the last person that actually hit the like button because I'm usually doing the video. So a part of me feels bad. I'm like, man, I should stop what I'm doing and go hit the like button. Anyways, Old Time Bear says, Jay, you should look into the history of the word ecstasy. Oh, the word ecstasy. I should look into the word ecstasy and see how it relates to prophecy. Also, the substance that goes by the name and its prophetic uses. Okay, that's an interesting research activity. I'll have to check that out, actually. I do enjoy looking up words, as you know. All right. Remember, you got to type in J to get my attention because the chat's going super fast. Daughters of Lilith says, Jay, animals don't have free will. Boom. Because they just follow their programming. Okay. I mean, I hear you. I totally do. But I could definitely make a similar case for humans. Arctic Timberwolf says, hey, Jay, dogs chase their tails in circles. Indeed they do. And it looks like a good time. Belinda Brubaker says, Jay, ants are also going in circles. Yeah, that's the ant death circle or whatever. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to look into that a bit more. But this is very interesting. I think this is great. I'm gonna segue into my own little perspective. I think that it's great, even if this is all BS, even if this is all just nonsense, and it's all there's good excuses for all of it, for the ants, for the turkeys, for the sheep, for the deer. Even if every one of those has a decent excuse for it or explanation, right? I think it's wonder-filled that people are noticing, because these are what are known as signs and omens, regardless of what is the actual explanation. And the thing is whenever ants circle around their prey, blah, blah, blah. No. That's fine. I get that. But on a deeper level, for those of us who are a bit more spiritually inclined, I guess you could say, these are signs and omens. We learn how to read the signs of the world and the omens of the world. We learn to speak the language of the world itself. And one day that language will return to us. And it's starting to. I'm going to say that. And I'm going to come back to a little bit more in a bit. Mars Pop says, Jay reminds me of the mosh pit. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, man, that's so weird. I accidentally ended up in a mosh pit one time, a long time ago. When I was in the Marines, I was just driving around randomly, and I just stopped at some venue. I didn't know what it was, went in there, and boom, next thing you know, I was totally being pushed around in a mosh pit. Accidentally fell into one. Angel Wings says, JayDreamerZ, oh my God, I never thought to hit my own like button. Yes, you got to hit your own like button. I don't know if it counts or not, but it's a good practice. Jay, is the movie Ugly Benny 2014? I don't know. I'm not sure. Virginia Schaubel says, Jay, the magnetic field of the Earth is changing. Former pole shifts had multiple north and south poles during the change. Maybe that is what's happening to the animals. Maybe they're confused. See, I hear that, but then I would also ask the question, why are they not, I mean, if the energy of the Earth is fluctuating, not spiraling, but if everything's completely just fluctuating, right, I would expect the animals to just wander off and go in no direction at all. Like have no rhyme or reason to like, hey, where are the cows going? I don't know. They're just dispersed everywhere. You know what I mean? So the fact that they're walking in circles specifically, I wish they were walking in like a triangle. Like that would really seal the deal for me. All right. Beck Cable says, Jay, I feel that these things are happening because they are feeling the rumblings of the tectonic plates shifting. Ooh, the earth getting ready to grow. I like that thought. Occult Stained Glass says, Jay, the movie The Fountain. That is a good movie. Thank you for reminding me of how awesome that movie is. Daughters of Lilith says, Jay, did you talk about the animals running in circles before as a sign of the apocalypse? No, not really. I don't think I have. I may have mentioned it's a possibility. However, I wanted to let that one marinate a bit before I just dove into it. It's so easy. Oh my God. When stuff like this is viral, man. This is like super hot. This is hot out of the oven right here. Okay. People they go nuts over to these types of things. So it's really easy for everyone to jump onto the same train and say, oh my God, it's this. Oh my God, it's that. Okay. I believe in all of that, but as I'm getting a little bit older, I've learned to be a little tiny bit more patient. Still not super patient, but I need to work on it. Special K says, Jay, I'd be curious about your thoughts on the movie Annihilation. That's a good one too. With the little, a little bubble that they have over everything, a little dome. That's a good flick. Looking 702 says, Jay, reminder to watch Somewhere in Time. Hopefully you'll break it down. It's deep. It sounds familiar. I may have seen that one. Where else we got? Papa's Farm says, Jay, has anyone looked deeper? Like, how long do they walk in circles? Region specific, lunar correlations. Yeah, that's good information to know, right? I think that's great. That some of us would like to, document a bit more than just, it's a coinky dink. Look at that. It's the end of the world. However, I also believe that too. All right, let's see. Daughters of Lilith says, bees fly in circling swarms to protect their queens. I've seen that, actually. That's, man, don't mess with a bee swarm. It's loud, too. They get super loud. Safe Moon Flat Earther says, Jay, what's up besides the firmament? The fractalverse. Brandon Colley says, Jay, deleted scene from The Fountain shows him eating mushrooms, then bam, the new tree of life is born. That is what is happening. Okay. All right. Interesting. I like it. That's a trippy movie too. Old Time Bear says, the ants are performing an ascension ritual, which will transition into their light bodies and, hold on, and transcend into 5D. Okay. I have no idea if you're serious or not, but I love that comment. Frosty0311 says, Jay, Semper Fi. Right back to you. And Mars Pop says, Jay, could this be harnessing of plasma via blood, vibrating at a higher rate? Yeah, but I mean, why would they walk? How would that make them walk in circles? It could be. Totally. I mean, it could be jelly donuts also. I don't know. But the question would be, how do the jelly donuts make animals walk in circles? Or how does the vibrating blood or whatever it is, like how does that actually make them? I've actually heard a few good comments where people are trying to actually explain how it could force things to walk in a circle like that. And I also have heard that there's, I guess, diseases, some kind of mental disease or something that some animals can get, specifically deer or cows or something, where they just, they can only turn left, I guess. Sure, for sure. Coriolis Force, okay, I got you. Arctic Timberwolf says, Jay, I saw a group of people going in circles at the roller skating rink and I joined in. I knew they're secret little clubs of people going in circles indoors. I knew it. 5G signals. We got another vote for 5G. Uncle Benny the dog says, Jay, see how the one video has a thin ring of animals. The rest are filled in circles of animals. I think it's super interesting, especially places like this, right in front of one of those old cathedral type churches or something, where they probably built that on top of inner earth energetic spots anyway, right? In order to heal people. Daughters of Lilith, God, your name is like a tongue twister for me for some reason. Says, what do you think happened to the killer hornets that popped up 2 years ago? They were supposed to be a big threat. I know, bummer, right? Super let down. Shame on you, killer hornets. Not exciting. Anticlimactic. I give killer hornets 2 stars out of 10. 2 stars. Very boring. It was not like at all how I wanted it to be. Cake Town says, Jay targeted by some kind of waves. Okay, targeted by waves. Could be. I like how you're thinking. Let's see. Justin says, I'm just riffing theories, but common sense tells you in Earth's magnetic field, it is Earth's magnetic field, and that the circle is a most natural movement when affected by electromagnetism. I agree with that. I do. I also see the other side of the coin, which is that there's truth in everything, that the answers lie everywhere because it's like a hologram, right? If you cut off a little piece of the hologram, it contains the information for all the rest of the hologram, right? So these animals, no matter what the justification is, right? No matter what it is, they're still a piece of a bigger hologram. They're still reflecting back to us something that feels true and rings true because we're all connected, right? All right, we're going to take a few more and then I'm going to share my perspective and then we're going to bounce. All right, let's see. Occult Stained Glass says, Jay, is it always clockwise? No, it's totally not always clockwise. I'm not examining that close, but that is a good question to ask. London says, JayDreamerZ, also at least 3 volcanoes erupted this last week. Animals can sense that too. Yes. So this is very interesting. I'm getting excited as we get closer and closer to the reset, right? You're going to see more volcanoes erupting. You're going to see more strange lights in the sky, right? I know a lot of people have been seeing a lot of those videos. And it's so funny to me, especially when like Mr. BBB or whatever his name is, whenever he does it and he's like, oh my God. Look at these strange lights or whatever. And I'm just like, it's plasma. Oh my God, it's plasma. I mean, it's not always plasma, but I wish that would be a part of people's considerations from time to time. Splosh Magnets says that the animals are aware of a higher consciousness that we are no longer able to access. Okay, interesting. So that makes them walk in circles, or are they just aware? You know what I mean? Could be. They seem to be more grounded. I mean, they're all kind of on the ground, right? But they seem more grounded. They seem more in tune with nature and more in touch, as we will return to being one day. Okay, it's not always going to be like this for humanity. Uncle Benny says, Jay, have animals done this before? I'm sure this has happened throughout history, personally. Papa's Farm, I get a feeling, right? Says, Jay, whatever it is, it's not normal until recently. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in our, and it's on the radar for us now, right? I want to say it's on the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's on the radar for us. People are tuning in. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Margaret Stover, hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right, so this is cool because it's on the radar. This is cool, like I was saying before. I'm not in the chat now, just so you know. Because people are starting to pay attention to the signs that the earth gives to us. People are starting to look at all the earthquakes and sort of put them all together like little puzzle pieces. People are starting to look at all the strange weather phenomenon and all of the anomalous activity with earth changes, geography, the Mandela effect. Thing after thing is coming to people's attention. It's not just conspiracy theorists. It's not just tinfoil hat wearing people. It's not weirdos. It's not D&D players. It's not the nerds playing Magic, you know, in the back room at lunchtime in high school or whatever, which also was me. It's not those things. It's everything. Every single thing is connected. And when I believe that we go through periods of time, right? that our time itself fluctuates. We go through periods of time when we are very one with Mother Nature, where we are one with each other. We're so connected that we have telepathic powers, that we can speak and sense and feel things that are conveyed by our brothers and sisters in the world, whether they be animals or plants or people or whatever. Justin Poole, hey, good to see you. So I'm glad that this is becoming recognized, right? I'm not going to jump on any train and say, oh, this is all because, you know, right there in all these different spots have little tornadoes of energy. I don't know. Could be. Might not be. You know, they might be doing things for totally different reasons. But what I will tell you is that the spirit of the world is singing louder than ever in my life, at the very least. From my experience, I can hear the song of the world being sang to us in all of these wondrous and wonder-filled ways. This is just one to start opening people's eyes. Now, some people are going to plant a flag like they're used to in the world that has taught us to plant flags. Some people are going to say, it's definitely this. Oh, it can't be anything other than this right here. This is my flag. This is my land. Get off my property unless you believe what I believe in. Some people will do that. And they'll shout that they have open minds the entire time. And that's totally fine. I've been down that road. I've been on that path. And I'm better for it today. So bless the broken road, right? Anyways, here's what I wanted to share with you. I'm talking about signs, and I'm talking about omens. The world is going to change in a drastic manner. Right now, the world is slowly and steadily changing, but it's becoming almost exponential at a rate where there's people on YouTube every single day that are like, oh my God, this happened in the world. Oh my God, this is going on right now. Oh my God, all this political stuff and the money and the finances and all of the diseases and pandemics and this and that. Like, everyone knows. You know. Like, come on, you know, right? They know, I know, you know, we all know what's coming. We all know it's on the way. At least I'm speaking for everybody in the world right now. So I'm super generalizing really, but I mean, I'm speaking for me. I know. I have a knowing. I have a sense, okay? Do I know for sure? Like 100%? No, I totally don't, but I feel it. And sometimes when I say I know, I just really mean I feel. But let me tell you what this is, okay? I'm going to share with you my perspective, okay? Not only is it an omen, not only is it a sign, but the thing that cracks me up, have you ever seen the movie Arrival, right? Where there's like that dome-shaped black UFO and then it stands up for some reason instead of laying down like a dome. But anyways, there's weird black obelisk-looking dome spaceship deal, right? Weird movie, interesting movie, but that's the one where the girl goes inside of it and there are those heptapods, I think they were called. They have like it looks like 2 alien hands with 7 fingers, basically, sitting in front of this chick. Giant hands, basically, right? And then one of them puts a little tentacle up on you know what I'm talking about, right? So throughout the entire movie, okay, and when I figured out, when I had a realization about what the aliens were trying to tell these people, I couldn't stop laughing. Because exactly what the aliens were trying to tell the people in that movie is exactly what I believe the animals are telling me, at least, when they speak to me. And that is, those aliens in the movie kept drawing a circle over and over again. And every time the humans were like, what do you think it could be? What do you think it could mean? And then they do their alien erasing thing. I don't know. I don't remember. But then they draw another circle and they're like, no, look, it's a circle. And they're like, oh, he drew like another circle, but it's a little bit different. Maybe this is some kind of new circle language, or you know what I mean? I'm like, he's drawing the hole in the sky when the world depressurizes. He's telling you, watch out for the ring. Watch out for the eye in the sky. Watch out for the all-seeing eye, because when you see that, your world is going to go through an apocalypse. Okay, get ready. The apocalypse is coming, basically. They just keep drawing a circle over and over again. And I'm like, oh, he's trying to tell you to get out. He's trying to tell you to run. He's trying to tell you to prepare. He's trying to tell you, you know what I mean? Like, these aliens know that the humans' world, Earth, is going to be destroyed. So they just keep drawing a circle over. These super advanced aliens are just keep drawing circles over and over again. And the ring symbolism, any of that ring symbolism and stuff where it's circles and stuff like that too. All right, let me jump back into the chat. That's my thoughts, okay, on this. is so many people are trying to figure out, what does it mean? Why are they doing it? What's causing this and that? Which I've asked many of you, what do you think's causing it, right? But sometimes the simplest answer is often the best one. Sometimes it's just a circle, and they're letting you know that the circle is the warning, right? The circle is some kind of a warning. Many people have mentioned that animals will do this whenever they sense danger, right? They'll start walking in circles when they sense danger. So keep an eye on the animals. Keep an eye on the birds, especially when stuff starts falling out of the sky and the birds start falling out of the sky. I have a feeling like you're going to see all kinds of weird stuff starting to fall out of the sky. I mean, it's already started, basically, but these types of events, I believe, are going to get to the point where they can't be denied. Like they will have, everybody will know about them. You know what I mean? And other things are going to happen too. This is just random places in the world. Imagine when stuff starts happening on a worldwide, all you have to do is walk outside and see it, kind of a signs and omens thing. That's when the world will be screaming its song, saying, I love you, please prepare, please change, please get right. You know what I mean? Or something like that. At least that's what I hear. That's what I hear over and over. But anyway, so these animals sense things. And I believe that the time's going to come when all of the animals, many of them, are going to sense that there is impending doom on the way. And they're going to freak out and they're going to act really strange and abnormal. Another interesting thing too, that reminded me of the Carrington event. I'm going to jump back in the chat in just a bit. But during the Carrington event, there were people, they say, that lost their minds. There were people that just, basically seemed to be plasma possessed. Some people, it says that they were like, it's almost like they were drunk and then they just like, they took a nap in the street or something like that. It gets really weird, but you're going to see a lot of signs. Okay. This is the beginner's stuff. This is for you to practice with. Okay. If I was the world, I'd give you some easy stuff to start with so that you can go back to learning how to read the signs and the omens. Give you some simple stuff. See if you pick up on it, right? Toss you a little breadcrumb and see if you're hungry for more. Then we're going to get into more complex signs and wonders in the world, worldwide. So you're going to see a lot more electromagnetic phenomenon. People will start to see ghosts way more, because the energy is ramping up, I believe. I think that the energy is going to get more and more strong and powerful before it pops, basically. So there's going to be a lot of implications, a lot of signs and things to watch out for. So people see more ghosts, people see more alien crafts in the sky, which are really just the lights and stuff. People see strange lights, beams of light, different forms of lights in the sky than we've ever seen before. And we're already starting to see this too, right? Light bending and moving about and making rainbows and all kinds of interesting stuff until eventually everybody will see it. And eventually you're all going to have your own little YouTube thing, because everyone's going to be recording if your phones work and stuff, whenever things start getting really serious, right? People are going to start, there'll be hundreds, you know what I mean? Like these are random occurrences that people happen to get, and most people rip these off the internet. The signs will become so amplified that you will all have your own little personal collection, because all you have to do is go outside and you'll see some strange things happening. All right, let me jump back into the chat. We're going to do about 10 more minutes. I'm just going to hang out for about 10 more minutes and then we're going to wrap things up. Tanya in the Flux of Royal Bloodline just subscribed. Hey, welcome, Tanya. All right. I'm just going to catch all the way up. I'm just going to go right up to the front of the chat and go backwards. Government Department of Ethics says, very true, switching to omen vision. Yes, I like that. Omen vision, go. Right? Let's see. Eddie Black says, Jay, it reminds me of the Muslims walking around the rock in Mecca. Very well, very well. Mati Sheets says, Jay, is there anything like this or about this in old books? Oh, I don't know. You know how many old books there are in history and in the world? I would hope that there's something like this in old books somewhere across time. Beef says, Jay, it's scary. It reminds me of the movie Cell. Okay, that's it. I'm watching Cell. That's it. I'm going to watch it. With John Cusack's in that? Or Joan Cusack? Which one is it? I like John Cusack. Joan Cusack, she's okay. But I like John Cusack. He's cool. Michael Takar says, Jay, man, I hope bodies and parts don't fall from the sky. I promise you one day they will. That's me. That's my perspective and my beliefs and all that fun stuff, but I'm fairly certain bodies will fall from the sky one day. Special K says, Jay, have you heard of sky ice? Yes, I have. I think the sky is made out of ice, actually. At least the firmament portion or whatever. All right, let me catch back up. We got, what do we got? Bill Holmes says, Jay, it'd be interesting to see a compass in the middle of circling animals. Oh, that's a great idea. See, I like how you think, Bill. Very good. Super close-up picture. It's like right there. You're definitely Bill. But yeah, good one. If I ever see this, I'm going to bust out the compass and try that. I hope your son's, he's good. My son's downstairs playing with his toys right now. Just let me do my live stream for a little bit, and then we go back to dinner and dessert and bedtime stories and shower, cleaning up, getting ready for tomorrow. So yeah, thank you. Old Time Bear says, Jay, we will be in place to warn others, those destined for the other side. Yes, I think so too. I feel that. I feel, man, I want to be careful about like certain feelings that I get, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many trigger words in the world today, but I feel called. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. I feel like I trust in where I am at this exact moment. With all of its hardships and craziness, I trust in this. I trust in my spot, my path, my walk. And I trust that it's lined up to whatever's coming. But that's me. All right, cool. Let's see. We got Old Maps 2022 says, JayDreamerZ. Oh, I like your Mount Meru picture. That's tight. Says, JayDreamerZ, I've been watching since you were planning a trip to the poles in search of endless lands. That was over 5 years ago. Do you still believe there are endless lands? Yeah, I wanted to go to, I heard everyone was talking about Antarctica a lot, right? And the dome touching Antarctica. I was tired of the talk. I wanted to go touch the dome. I wanted to go put my hand on the dome, touch it, etc. But then I started getting more advanced in my research about Antarctica, and I have changed my mind. I don't want to go to Antarctica. That looks, one, way too cold. Like, if okay, I mean, I would go, right, if I was properly equipped, right? If I was a billionaire or something, I had all the super cold gear and everything, and I was good, I would go. I would go check it out for sure. I would like to. But before I ever go to Antarctica, I definitely want to go to the North Pole, right? The North Pole, they say, gets warmer and warmer as you get closer to those lands that head you towards the hollow sections of the Earth. So, North Pole's number one on my list. Going out to the dome, not super, I'm not really into that right now. So, yeah. But if I had the means, I would definitely do it. North Pole sounds way easier of a trip, too. Matthew Oliva says, Jay, I remember a circle reference in the movie Mars Attack that was drawn by a Martian greeting. Oh, good call. Good catch. I remember that. Benjamin Crossland says, JayDreamerZ, I like that some animals are clockwise, some are counterclockwise. It reminds me of discharging energy or charging energy according to Walter Russell. Ooh, very good. I like that too. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to do two more. We got Beck Cable, who says, Jay, I've been seeing birds that should be roosting and sleeping at night standing on the ground at street corners like weird watchers. Yeah, that's really interesting too. I've seen some birds doing some interesting stuff lately. Daughters of Lilith, be careful with all the animals too. I also want to remind everybody that if you're studying like the plasma apocalypse as I presented at least, be careful of animals. Okay, during the time will come when the animals are going to inherit this world once more. Hold on, let me see if I got this comment. How do I feel about Kanye West? Oh, okay. Nah, I'm good. Anyways, Jesus. Like, I don't even know who Kanye West is. Like, I've heard of the dude. I know he's a rapper and stuff, but I don't get caught up in celebrity gossip because I don't, when I look at people, I don't see celebrities. Okay. When I see Kanye West, I see some guy with a big old jaw. Like, I just see a guy. I don't really care that his name is Kanye West, and I don't really care about whatever his persona is. And I definitely don't care about whatever gossip is happening to him. Oh, the animals. Be careful of the animals, okay? We have mistreated the animals. We have done the animals wrong, in my opinion. Okay, this is my path. I have mistreated the animals. I have done the animals wrong, right, in this life, and I don't like it. I don't like eating animals. I mean, I do at this present moment. from time to time, okay? I'll have a turkey sandwich or whatever. I freely admit it, but I will also freely admit that I don't feel very good about it. I don't like it, right? I also feel like many people can relate because you would like to eat better, but it's like, what option do you have? Everything's garbage. Like, I could say, hey, I found this great new diet. And there would be one of you out there would be like, actually, that diet's terrible for you. You need to research further. You know what I mean? I could be like, hey, I'm a vegetarian. And someone's like, actually, you should actually be vegan. And I'm like, hey, I'm a vegan. And someone would be like, actually, you should just be a breathitarian and just breathe energy. And someone would be like, actually, you should just stare at the sun. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the world just isn't satisfied with all my attempts. So I'm sad. I'm mourning on the inside. I want the world to be a better place. And when it does, and there's telepathy and everything's restored and stuff, man, me and animals, high five. However that's done, I don't know. I'm definitely going to have some animal friends. But I will tell you this, the animals will get the world back. Not us. The animals will inherit the world back. Okay? And they'll multiply super fast in comparison to us. I don't believe that humans are going to be able, now that I'm thinking about this, I don't believe humans are going to be able to procreate right away. And I believe that's because your lifespans will be lengthened and your puberty will be reset, essentially. Okay, so many of you won't be able to physically produce babies because your body's struggling with trying to be a child again, basically. All right, cool. Well, hey, that's all I've got for today. I know there's still a lot of people in the chat. This is a lot of people watching my live stream right now. So I want to say thank you to 753 people. I'm honored. It is truly an honor. And I'm gonna bow out gracefully and roll the credits. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
To fade away. I try so hard to fade away, but something's forcing me to stay. It'd be easier for me if I turn away to flee, oh. But there's something holding on, the way of being long gone. There's so many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Far too many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Time to wake up, time to wake up, baby. Time to wake up, time to wake up. Time to wake up, time to wake up, baby. Time to wake up, time to wake up. I know I should have done this, should have quit this long ago. Can't stand another heartbreak, but it's time to let it go. It'd be easier for me if I turn away to flee, oh. But there's something holding on, the way of being long gone. There's so many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Far too many ways to
Come on,
escape,
testing.
but I guess
Let me
it's
see.
time to wake
Testing?
up, time
Okay.
to wake up.
All right, go for it.
Good vibes and goodbye, everybody.
There you go.
Time to wake up, time to wake up, baby. Time to wake up, time to wake There's so many ways to
Almost over. There's still 400.
Only you in this vast multiverse.
Your powers to fly.